Will somebody tell me if we're supposed to start the program?
Freeman hits the ball to right field.
Into right field. She is gone. Oh, what a pass. Doncic, perfection there on the assist.
A little magic from Doncic.
Stafford takes the shoulder, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nakua. He picked him on his shoulder and made the catch.
One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Tipped up and in on the count. LeBron James at the buzzer.
This game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed, the lights out. Butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the jello is jiggling.
What's up, you guys, and welcome to the LA Sports Roundup podcast. I am your host, Mike Andrade, sitting here recording Thursday, March 19th, 2026. If you all will be so kind, I have a bit of a cold going on, so I don't feel the greatest, but I want to sit here and record and get this podcast out as soon as possible and have it ready for you guys. As always, you could find us on our social medias at Lace 'em Up Sports. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're listening to this podcast, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Spotify. Guys, like, subscribe, follow us, do whatever you can to up our numbers. You guys are doing an amazing job, but let's continue the progress, especially when it comes to YouTube and Spotify. We need these numbers up. So guys, continue to spread the word about Lace 'em Up Sports, our latest Wrestling with Brian podcast. You can catch that on Spotify, on YouTube. We just released our latest episode rebooking WrestleMania 42. So if you guys are into pro wrestling, go ahead and check that out. And if you're not into it, but you know somebody that is into pro wrestling, go ahead and just show them the podcast. That's as simple as it can be. And also, if you guys have any questions you want me to answer here on the LA Sports Roundup podcast, you guys can always send in your questions to laceemuptakes@gmail.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have, either pro wrestling related. We can answer them on the Wrestling with Ryan and Mike podcast, or we can answer any LA sports related questions as well. So that is laceemuptakes@gmail.com, where you can reach us. You know what's not easy to do is to win 7 games in a row in the month of March, and that is exactly what the Lakers have done to get themselves a little bit of a cushion into the 3rd spot into the Western Conference standings in the NBA, and have won 10 out of their last 11 games. The Lakers are no doubt one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now, and it is all due to quite a few reasons, actually. One being the acclamation of LeBron James of finding his role within this team and taking a backseat to Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Another, it's DeAndre Ayton also acquiescing to his role and not so much trying to be the scorer that he thought he could be at the beginning of the season. Not that he isn't a good scorer, because he is a really good scorer, but acquiescing to the role in which the Lakers really need him to be in terms of him being a rim runner, a floor runner, a defensive presence on the court. You have Coach JJ Redick, who has been coaching his ass off, getting this team to come together and scheming the fuck out of these other teams, and also just finding ways to get this team to be cohesive together. And then you have the leading scorer in the NBA. You have Luka Doncic, who has just been playing out of this world ever since. And obviously, we don't want to make light of anybody going through a divorce, but ever since Luka Doncic has been going through a divorce, man, this guy is on a tear. So whatever it is, whatever motivation he's using from that, well, in this basketball world, it is our pleasure. Let's talk about the team first. Let's go into their offensive rating over the last 11 games. They have gone from scoring 115.8 points per game to now scoring 117.8 points per game. And now on the defensive rating, they have went from allowing 114.2 points per game to now allowing 111.6, and their net rating roughly went from +2 to +3. And over the last 11 games in this time span, the Lakers went from 18th, a defensive rating of 18th, all the way to 10th in the last 11 games through that window. And they have a defensive rating for 108, which is 3rd for in the NBA for defense. Now, granted, we are just talking about this 11-game time frame, but The fact is that the Lakers have made strides during this 11-game period. We don't need to get into where they were statistically at the beginning of the season and even midway through the season, because we knew they were horrible. They were horrible all throughout that period. The first 40, 50, 55 games of the season, they were horrible. It wasn't great. But something has clicked ever since the All-Star game has ended. I think the first thing being is that we are healthy. The Lakers, in terms of having our top 3 stars together, Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, have not really been able to play together at all this season due to injury. Now you take them being able to be together after the All-Star break, it has done wonders for their chemistry. And also one thing here is that LeBron James took a hiatus from March 5th to March 12th. In that time frame, the Lakers were able to utilize Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic to their full capabilities here. They were able to turn the game loose to them, and it did wonders. I think one of the games we lost was to Denver, but that's it. And the big worry coming out of that stretch from when LeBron was out was that when he came back, was it going to mess up the team chemistry? And LeBron has been back for 4, 5, 6 games now, and guess what? We're undefeated in that time frame. When LeBron James came back from his hiatus for a week, he decided to take a backseat to Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves to give them the much-needed space that they need in order to control this team. He is no longer the focal point of this team, and that has been evident since the beginning in which we traded Anthony Davis for him. Now, last year, it was still LeBron James' team, and it had to have been LeBron James' team last year because, in all retrospect, Luka Doncic couldn't have fit in from just maybe less than half a season. You know, it still had to have been LeBron James' team last year. But this year was always going to be Luka Doncic's team alongside Austin Reeves, and LeBron James had a tough time letting go. He really did. He went down kicking and screaming. He really didn't want to let go of the reins, and it was evident by his play on the court. Also, I think a lot of people would also look at it as a negative that he wasn't necessarily giving his all. And yeah, he wasn't giving his all, but also the dude is 41 years old in his 23rd season. And so he had to slow down his effort in order to sustain what he could be able to give right now, March and April, and going into the playoffs. So LeBron was conserving his energy at the beginning of this season in order for him to be able to contribute the later point into the season. And the injuries were a very big portion of why the Lakers were very inconsistent this season altogether as well. They could not find starting lineups that were consistently being put into every game. They could not find lineups in general. They were always tinkering around with their rotations, and guys were in, guys were out. And now you look at who they have in their rotation right now. Obviously, we have our starting 5. Marcus Smart is in our starting 5 alongside Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton, right? But within our rotation, you have Jake LaRavia, you have Jackson Hayes, you have Rui Hachimura, and Luke Kennard. That's a 9-guy rotation right there, and not really anybody else is cracking that rotation. Jared Vanderbilt is out. So when you have inconsistency at the beginning of the season due to injuries, of course it's going to make things really complicated for this team. And this team was never put together well from the get-go. It's not like this team was always going to be a top-tier defensive juggernaut, because we never were. And add on top of these injuries, and of course we were never going to be as consistent as possible. But now the team is almost as healthy as seemingly possible. I mean, who's on the injury report right now? Who, Maxi Kleber? That's it, really? And I think even he's in. Technically, he's able to play, but that's about it. That's about it. Everyone else is seemingly healthy. The point I'm trying to make is that with everyone being healthy on this team, now guys are being able to be put into consistent roles, and we're not able to kind of fluctuate guys or kind of mismatch guys into different spots where they're not comfortable. Now we're able to put guys into their natural born spot, and now we're able to figure out, hey, look at Marcus Smart. He's actually better into our starting lineup than he was coming off the bench. Putting Rui on the bench has actually been very beneficial for Rui. It takes a lot less pressure off of Rui in the starting lineup and putting him in the second unit. And now Marcus Smart is able to lead and to able to be a presence on the starting lineup in which he wasn't able to do before. I want to also take a note here that Marcus Smart, man, he's had an excellent season with the Lakers so far, and it really gives me comparisons to Ron Artest when Artest, Metta World Peace, joined the Lakers in 2009. He was really like that Nobody knew how he was going to fit in. Obviously the Lakers had won a title at that point without Ron Artest, but he was able to just come in, do his duty. He was a defensive-minded guy. We didn't know if he could carry on with being a guy that could be smart out there, no pun intended, for Marcus Smart, but I'm talking about Ron Artest. We didn't know how level-headed he could be out there in terms of crunch time and being able to stay on the floor, in terms of not being kicked out, in terms of technical fouls. Marcus Smart, man, he is one of those guys in which we had the same worries. And we had a little bit of that this year, but not too much. He's really just carried his own within this team, and I think he has become a fan favorite in going forward. I think this guy is going to be a very, very crucial piece to what we do in the playoffs. But going back to the consistency with this team, it is really evident to what Coach JJ Redick is able to now do in terms of scheming, both on defense and then offense. Now, look at to what we did during this little mini baseball series against the Houston Rockets. We were able to defend Kevin Durant at an elite level and basically be able to take the ball out of the hands of Kevin Durant. Yeah, last night he did score a lot better than what he did the other night, but we were able to take the ball out of his hands, and we were able to force a lot of key turnovers, force a lot of bad shots to which the Houston Rockets did not want to take. And that all stems from guys buying in on this team. This is exactly what you want to see in the month of March and April. Guys coming together, being able to buy into what Coach JJ Redick is having out on the floor, and being able to put personal feelings and objectives behind them, and being able to put that aside in order for the team to be successful. And I know it all sounds cliche, right? Being able to put personal feelings behind them in order for the team to succeed, but that really is what it is about in terms of the waning months of the NBA season. You want to be able to have guys come together and have a strong playoff push, in which the Lakers are doing. We have won 10 out of our last 11 games. You couldn't ask for anything better. And now we are sitting with a cushion in the third seed of the NBA Western Conference. So at third in the Western Conference, the Lakers sit behind the Oklahoma City Thunder with 55 wins, 15 losses. Then the San Antonio Spurs with 51 wins, 18 losses. And the Lakers at 44 wins, 25 losses. So they're about 11 games still behind first place. So that's basically not going to happen. That is a very, very far feat to which the Lakers cannot climb. That's not going to happen. They're not going to get to number one. They're not going to get to number two. They're still very much behind the San Antonio Spurs in terms of climbing up those ranks. But we do have a little bit of a cushion now between 3 and 6. So the number 4 Minnesota Timberwolves are at 43 and 27. So we're about a game and a half above them now. Then you have the Houston Rockets, who have lost 2 in a row against us. They're at 41 and 27 at the number 5 spot. And then the Denver Nuggets, who just lost against the Memphis Grizzlies last night, they're at 42 and 28. And so, and then number 7, you have the Phoenix Suns, who are at 39 and 30, and then the Clippers, who are at 34 and 35. So the Lakers have built themselves a bit of a cushion here in terms of a little wiggle room. If they were to seemingly lose a game here, lose a game there, it wouldn't be as dire as it was a week or two ago when they were sitting at the number 6 seed, when they're sitting at the number 5 seed. Now they're in the number 3rd seed with a little bit of a cushion. Now it doesn't mean they can go on a losing streak, but a loss here, a loss there, is not going to be dire as it was a week ago. Interesting note, though, if the playoffs were to have start today, the Lakers would be playing the number 6 seed Denver Nuggets, and the Lakers would have home court advantage. How cool would that be for the Lakers to have home court advantage against the Nuggets, being able to play them in the first round, and be able to strike a little bit of revenge against them after them kicking our asses 2 straight years in a row. Well, we lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, but before that, 2 straight years in a row, they kicked their asses in the playoffs. So I would love nothing more than the Lakers being able to beat the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs this upcoming. So now begs the question, what is the biggest reason why we are here? And I think it is because of the play of Luka Doncic. I mean, this guy is the second coming to Kobe Bryant, to which we haven't seen since Kobe. This is a guy that I feel like, man, he is born and bred to be a Laker. It's just so evident. It's so evident. We have seen it with guys like Magic Johnson, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, now Luka. Look how good he looks hitting these game winners, especially that game winner against Denver. My God. Does it look so sexy, him hitting a game winner in a Laker uniform. The Lakers are very, very fortunate enough to have Luka Doncic. It still boggles my mind that Dallas traded him to us. It really, really does boggle my mind. And I'm sure it boggles a lot of people's minds that the Dallas Mavericks let him go. And he's doing so well in a Lakers uniform. Doncic is leading the league in points per game right now at 33 a game. He is sitting 5th in the MVP race behind Shea, Cade Cunningham, Wembanyama, and Jokic. Unfortunately, I do think that's where he is going to stay in terms of the MVP race. I think that the league isn't going to shift any more further into Luka Doncic's favor this year in terms of him being able to win the MVP, but I think that's okay because, look, he has had an amazing season as it is. Obviously, would we love for Luka Doncic to win the MVP? Yes, that'd be amazing. But I think him sitting at 5th is where he is going to stay. Lastly, before we get off the Lakers here, the Lakers have now beaten the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I believe the Lakers have the tiebreaker in all of these potential playoff series. And so that is huge wins for the Lakers, not only just for the standings right now, but the Lakers have given themselves a much-needed tiebreaker in these circumstances to stay at the number 3 seed, if it comes down to it, if they are all to be tied. Now the Lakers continue to play, they're going to be playing in Miami today, continuing a 6-game road trip. They're going to be playing Miami at 5 o'clock today, and then Saturday they're going to be playing the Orlando Magic, and then the Detroit Pistons. So all 3 tough games remaining on this road trip, but the Lakers have done their part already, winning 2 of their first 6 games on this road trip, and or 5 games, however you want to look at it. It is. They've already done their part. Winning 2 out of the first 5 games. If the Lakers can at least get a victory either tonight against Miami or against Orlando, I think you do your part and you try to go 3-2 on this road trip, and I think that is a successful road trip. Then they come back home. They play the Indiana. Oh no, actually, sorry. They play in Indiana, so it is a 6-game road trip. My apologies. A 6-game road trip ending in Indiana. Then they come back home. They play the Brooklyn Nets, the Washington Wizards. They play the Cleveland Cavaliers on March 31st. Then, starting April, they play the Oklahoma City Thunder, Dallas Mavericks. They play the Thunder again. They play the Warriors April 9th. Then April 10th, the Phoenix Suns. And to close out the regular season would be against the Utah Jazz on April 12th. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm not feeling well, as you can hear. But I just wanted to talk a little bit today about the Lakers, and hopefully the Lakers can continue to gain momentum. I believe that this team can make a lot of noise going into the final stretch of the season and make a lot of noise into this playoffs. I think, all things considered, you may disagree with me, you may agree with me, but I think we could be in the Western Conference Finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And look, I want to remind you guys of something here. All it takes is an injury on one side for a team to, like the Lakers, to be in the finals. Look at last year, when in the Eastern Conference, he had Jason Tatum snapping his Achilles, and all of a sudden the Indiana Pacers were in the finals. Okay, anything can happen, and I'm not wishing for anything to happen, obviously, but anything can happen in sports, and for the Lakers to put themselves in position, I think would be tremendous, and you never know where it could lead. Alright, that's going to be it for today, guys. I want to thank you guys. I know it was a quick podcast, but we'll be back shortly, again, talking about the Lakers, talking about the Dodgers, and then we'll be talking about the Clippers' chances in the, hopefully, maybe making the play-in tournament as well. But until next time, I'll see you guys, and be safe out there. See ya. Well, if you guys are still paying attention to this podcast, I literally just saved this podcast to be released out, but the Lakers put out their injury report, and it seems against the Heat tonight that LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves are all sitting out of tonight's game. So yeah, the seventh, the winning streak that we have, the 7-game winning streak, will probably come to an end tonight. But it doesn't negate everything that I just said. You know, the Lakers still have a job to do against Orlando, and I believe, you know what, we can take care of business going forward in that retrospect. But okay, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.